All right, everybody, today we're going to be making this end table. In fact, we're going to be making 4 of these end tables, but real quick, I wanted to point out that as of filming this right now, I have 84 subscribers to this channel. That's 84 doofuses, and I really appreciate all the doofuses that are checking me out. So I wanted to go ahead and set a goal for 100 doofuses right after I post the video that you're about to watch. So I decided that if we can get to 100 fairly quickly after I post this video, I will wear my daughter's rainbow unicorn hat for a video in the future. And I won't explain why I'm wearing it. I'll just wear it, and that will be worth something. Anyway, when we get to different milestones down the road, maybe I'll do some giveaways or some prizes or something. So stay tuned for that. And let's go ahead and get started on the build. Now that I cut the legs to size, I need to do a round over on the sharp corners where I did the rip cut, so they kind of match the round over on the other side. I got it set to high. Dang it. See if I can fix it. So I got all the other legs done right. The first one, as you can see, has just a little bit of a ridge on it. I hand sanded it and everything. And I think I'll just turn that to the inside and it should be fine. So I made this tapering jig a little while ago, and I adjusted it to match the legs that I'm making now. So all I have to do, since I'm going to taper 2 sides of this, all I have to do is line this part of the jig anyway, up with the saw blade, put my leg on there, cut it, and then flip it one way and cut it again, and then I'll have a nice tapered leg. So let's try it out. So here's a little tip. If you ever want to do these tapered legs, when you get 4 of them, you're going to want to be able to put them together like a flower. When you get all the tapers together, you want 4 90-degree corners on the outsides of all 4, so the opening looks like a flower, just like that. If you don't do it right, you won't have that, and you'll have to make more legs because you screwed it all up. Luckily I didn't do that this time. I got pretty close to doing it, but these aren't square when I cut the 2x4s in half, so I need to make sure that I taper on the short side and then the long side for 2 of them, and then long side, short side for the other 2. If that's confusing, then join the club. I'm drilling pocket holes into 2 sides actually of these cross beams. They're going to go across the bottom and the top. I did that backwards. The bottom and the top. There we go. The tabletop is going to sit on this pocket hole, and then this pocket hole will be on the inside, so that they shouldn't show. I could just do the 1 pocket hole on the top, but I didn't think that was going to be strong enough. So you see we got a couple of these finished. I got 2 more to make because I'm making 4 total. I'm going to work on these cross beams right now. They're going to look like this. I need some more of them. So all I'm going to do right now is cut some of these cross beams. So I set my stop block here so I make all these the same size, and we're just cutting at a 45-degree angle. So I got all 8 of my cross beams cut here, and one thing that's worth pointing out is the fact that I made this box square. I wish I could say I did it on purpose, but I didn't. But it works out really well because then you can cut a straight 45-degree angle on these, which means that when I cut these dados out of the middle, it's going to be a 90-degree. I don't have to do any kind of fun and new angles for that stuff, so that's great. Oh, the other thing to point out is that I always cut these a little bit big, and they might not fit when I'm ready to fit them, and if that's the case, then I'll just trim it off at the time. But you want to cut them a little bit big and then sneak up on that so you don't have any unsightly gaps. I still have 1 more of these to do. Oh yeah. Now we're cooking with gas. Oh yeah. Alright, so now we're going to install these cross members here. And they're going to go flat to the top and flat to the bottom on their 45 there. And like I said, sometimes you cut these a little big, so you can just trim off a little bit to get them to fit in there. That one might need a little trim. This one might need a little trim too. So we got a little trim here. Let's see how we did. Looks pretty good. Now what I'm going to do is try to get them both in there, but I want them to overlap each other. So we're just going to try to get it in there just right, so I have enough to mark it, to mark the midpoints here, where I want to cut the half laps. Oh no, dadgummit. So if you're a big time gambler, like not like me, but maybe like Kenny Rogers, you can try to get all 4 done at the same time, and then these are 4 for 1 whole unit, and then I'll do 4 for the next unit. So I have the line marks on all 4 of them. They don't really line up, but I made sure that at least one of them lined up, and it should work out right. I already got the radial arm saw depth set to just half of the depth, so when they come together, it should be right. Okay, so that was kind of amazing that worked out on the first try, and it was nearly perfect. There's hardly any wiggle in this lap joint. So I'm really happy with that. So let's go on to phase 2 to see if this still fits. Oh my gosh. You know what? We are once again cooking with gas on this one. Sometimes things just work out. A lot of times for the old wood doofus that don't, but this one worked out. Alright, so that was a pretty successful install of one of these decorative cross braces, so we're just gonna skip the rest of them and pretend like they all happened just as well as this one. So I got these tabletop fasteners, they're called Z-clips, and I just need to cut a groove in around the frame of each of these and make enough of those grooves so that I can attach the table with these things. And these allow for the expansion and contraction over time of the tabletop so it doesn't bind or warp. Throughout this whole project, I've been coming across some of these imperfections, like holes in the wood. This hole went all the way through, so I just fill it with wood filler. This one I'm going to leave. That's the thing about doing rustic projects, is you don't have to worry about the wood being perfect. You want to be in decent shape, but some of these imperfections give the final piece some character, so that's just the way it's going to be. So I've already stained the other two tops. I made all four of these tops out of one 2x12, and the other tops I just sanded them and put the stain right on them. With these two, I'm going to experiment. I'm going to put some of this pre-stained wood conditioner onto these and see if it makes a significant difference, or maybe it won't even be noticeable. We'll find out one way or the other. Here we go. Okay, we're gonna let that sit. I've heard different ideas about how to use this stuff, and I've also read the instructions, and everything's different. So the instructions say let it soak in for 5 to 15 minutes, then remove the excess, and then stain it within 2 hours of application. So you don't want this to sit for too long, or you'll lose all the point of what you need. The idea is that it's conditioning the wood to soak in the stain better than it would otherwise. So let's wait. So that conditioner is set in now, and we're going to go ahead and get started on some staining. And I forgot my paper towels. Hold on. And I'm back. So now that the wood conditioner has soaked in for a little bit, we are going to apply some stain, and I'm using dark walnut. I've had some good experiences with dark walnut when I put it on spruce, basically a basic 2x4. It worked out pretty well. This is southern yellow pine, so I'm gonna see how this works out. All right, so overall, not too bad. I think the other stuff actually looks darker without the preconditioner. I ran into some trouble early on. I don't know if you noticed, but I didn't shake the stuff, so it went on a little watery at first. But then I shook it, and it started to look a little bit better. So we'll let this set in, then wipe it off. And if I got to, I'll put another coat of stain and see if that has any effect later on. It might get darker. Some people say extra stain is a waste of time, but I'll take my chances. Stain's pretty cheap. While I'm in staining mode, I'm also going to be staining these blocks, and they're going to be making up the bottom shelf of each one of the units. Okay, so these are the tabletop fasteners that I am going to use to install these. And they just go in those slots that I previously put in there with my biscuit joiner. And once again, this allows for expansion and contraction of the tabletop with different weather and stuff like that. So let's just screw this in. I dropped something. Awesome. Alright, let's see here. Well, not magnetized. Oh, perfect. I want to grab a little bit and bend that middle I just gotta put one in each one of these slots and we'll be good to go. And here it is with all the fasteners on. Might be a little overkill, but I'll make sure nothing goes wrong. Alright everybody, thanks for watching this video. I appreciate you sticking through all the way to the end. I think the tables turned out real good. I'll put some pictures up here. So yeah, thanks again, and remember, until next time, don't be afraid to be a doofus.